Welcome to step number 38. So attaching these side bumpers, and these things are plastic. So at some point I'm probably going to replace them with metal just because they're the protective parts. So I changed the back piece here because I used an armored piece, which I'll talk about that in a second, instead of using this plastic piece. Okay, let's get this together. Okay, there's a space, there's like a hole here on the chassis, the hole there on the chassis, and then there's a hole right there, and that is what this lines up with. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, get it started. Let's go with number 2. Now in hindsight, if I'd really been thinking about this, but this was just about getting it together, I would have taken this side piece and either color coded it, painted it to the chassis color, or at least painted it steel or something like that. So I think at some point I'll end up probably pulling this apart and painting it, doing a different paint with these side pieces and stuff. Or I may just try to hand brush it while it's on there with steel. Okay. Their plastic is supposed to be a pretty good resilient plastic. I just don't like the idea of plastic being the one thing that's protecting my body. You know, protecting this main car and everything. So, yeah, okay, that's just spinning. Okay, that's done. Okay, so it's those 3. Alright, I'm going to rotate this around so I can see this side. You'll probably see it better this time. You can see it there. And you can actually see it there, and you can see it there. Now the problem with the side metal pieces is that there's an aftermarket company that makes one, but apparently it ends up being too short. It doesn't match up with the hole or something perfectly. So I'll have to investigate that further when I do it. When it just starts spinning. Yep. Yep, that's done. Alright, that's the 2 side bumpers. Now, as you can see with the rear chassis here, they have an armor plate that you can use. It's made out of aluminum, but it's better than plastic. So I went ahead and put it on because I was doing a test, and I had to end up clocking the motor differently so I could clear the wires. There's 2 spacers that come underneath of this piece because this hole's pretty deep. Where that fits in, that would slot in there like that. Well, I guess if I wanted, I could take those out and put that on top of it. It would kind of fit, it would hide it, but I actually like the metal look. So anyway, that's tightened down on there, so that's that rear piece. Okay, so I found my other A3 parts here. When you're looking at the back of this, there's some slots that they fit into, and it holds a nut in there basically. So that this top portion of the cage, this top portion up here, this top portion goes like that. Yeah, that fits in like that. So instead of having to do a nut to capture it, you can just put those down in. It's flexible enough. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. MC7. So these go like that. Oh, there it is. You're keyed in. Put that like that. MC7 cap screw goes into there. There we go. I could actually see making this out of aluminum tubing and or brass, and making a roll bar out of actual metal just for the heck of it. I don't know. Maybe I'll get adventurous and create a whole new one. All right, now let's just get this thing together. Figured build it and then I'll make modifications later. Okay, so that's those two. That goes like that. The hoop is going to go second, so that I've got that together. So here's the rear hoop. You have these two slots right there that it goes on the outside, and then that naturally rests right there. Okay. So we got MC6, and they actually design it to where you can kind of pivot this out of the way to do motor maintenance. That's the majority of the weight right there. Gets a little, when you loosen it like that, it gets just a little wonky. Yeah, it hurts the end. Whoa. Okay, continuing on. Before I put the cage on, I'm actually going to put the spare tire holder on. It's located in there, and if you look towards the back, it has spare optional parts that you can do, and I do want to put the tire holder. It's on page 28, so to do that. So it's an MA5 to T4, MA5 to T4, so MA5. Yep, that's on. pretty neat that they designed this to be kind of like the roll cage kind of fall, or can flip away from the engine, so you could do like an engine change out or whatever without having to completely disassemble everything. You just take it and pop it up like that, so you can get access to stuff. And then when you want to make sure it's all back together, you just take and screw it back together. It's not going in. Okay, I need to find, there's 2 screws that should go into the spot right there. So I need to look for those. I'll be right back. So yeah, it's the same type of a cap head screw that goes up here. So that is an MC7. There should be a call out for actually 4 of them, not 2. So that's what it is. So it should have been 4 instead of 2, because there's another picture that shows the cap head sticking out of that spot, because the body panels go in another location. The other thing I gotta figure out is what goes on that right there. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's right. Just be careful, these are machine screws, so again, it'll go a certain point and then that's it. Alright, that's the cage. Oh, nope, gonna do those last 2, so I love magnetized bits. Here, let's make sure we're in the screen. So it's got to go down through 1. There we go. And then it's got to go through 2, and it's got to go into 3. Got just a touch of thread sticking up. Hold that middle piece to make sure it all sandwiches together. And you can feel it pushing against your index finger. There. And that's tightened up. That's your rear roll cage. So there's your cage, there's your tire holder. That locks in there, so you need 2 extra cap head screws there. 2 go back there. So this is actually a spot for a rear light. I know that's going to be coming up, but there's the whole rear cage. So I have a skeleton. Definitely got to do later, take some parts and do some painting. That was 38 and 39. Next, wheels and tires. And I've done some different things with the wheels and tires, so I will come back soon with that. So I'm going to have a few different options, and we're going to play around with it a little bit. So I'm going to clean up a little bit and come back for 40 for tires and 41. See you around.